Landlord wants me to show my apartment while I'm still in it.
He threatened legal action if I didn't comply. So now every potential renter gets the grand tour of every single thing the landlord has failed to fix, as well as how egregiously long it's been since I requested repair. Additionally, they get a detailed explanation of how the management company stole my $10K overpayment and how I've been living rent-free for months because they refuse to give it back. They can keep sending people if they want limo. Everyone has been like thank you. Update, thanks for the support everyone. I've gotten zero work done so I think I need to stop responding, but appreciate the collective FKU to slimy landlord smile.
How did you accidentally overpay your rent by $10,000? I had a clause like this in most of the leases I've signed. 3 days notice was provided to me. I was out of town on a business trip. I came home to find a note that they were going to show my apartment. I was gone long enough I didn't get this note until after they showed it. I had no time to clean or prep for this showing. I had left a sexually explicit magazine open on the coffee table. It was held open by a pair of handcuffs. I'm not in law enforcement, and there was a sex toy on the bathroom sink. They never showed the apartment again.
Ensure that everything you're saying is 100% true. If they kept your $10,000 overpayment, how have you been living rent-free? It seems you've been living rent paid in advance. I've heard other people in this situation start putting really graphic sexual art up all over their apartment. Depending in regulation with proper notice, in my area 24 hours notice, a landlord can enter the premises for various reasons up to and including repairs and showing off the apartment to rent. If there is such a notice, hold him to it every time. I had a landlord that once tried to call me when they were on the way with the perspective. Once.
This happened to me, except I had to show to potential buyers. I made sure they knew how much I loved the place and really didn't want to have to move. And also how it was haunted. I've literally just had the same experience today. I gave extended notice and said that I'd be out the property early, 3.5 weeks before the tenancy is officially up, so they can have free reign of the flat for any viewings and refurbishments as soon as I'm out. Letting agent tells me that the landlord wants to get someone in as soon as possible and so they'll be doing the viewings now, 7 weeks in advance. Today I've literally had my property treated like an open house showroom. Had to put my indoor cats in their carriers for fear of their safety. A lady almost leaned on my 2,000-pound TV. Another girl used my toilet and proceeded to go through my bathroom cupboard. The door hinge makes a distinct and loud noise while she was in there.
I even had someone open my dishwasher to get a good look at my dirty plates. It's been 2 hours since the final viewing and I'm still cooling off. Fuck renting, man. I swear it's like this every single time. Respect to you for giving your landlord a bit of payback. You saving up to move? Surely in those months of not paying rent you saved up to move. Right? This really shows how good a good landlord can be. In college, I rented an apartment from a guy that had a decent chunk of the one street I'm just a block off. Campus. He only rented to students at my college. If there was a problem, it was fixed by the next day by his team of maintenance guys that were always on call. He was super chill about payments coming a few days late, since he knew his tenants were all students. The yards and driveways in the winter were always taken care of. He always gave at least 24-hour notice as a heads up before he came over. The year I graduated, he showed the apartment when I was still in it and the prospective tenants asked me a few questions. And I answered pretty much the same as I said above. When he came to pick up rent that month, he left half of it with a handwritten note thanking me for being a great tenant. Fast forward to my next apartment run by a property management company. The heater shut off in the middle of a snowstorm on Christmas Day and they took 3 days to even return my calls. There was construction debris filling the basement from renovations. And I had to take them to court to get my security deposit back when I left. Which they never showed up for. So the case defaulted to me and I ended up putting a lien on their business lol. So yeah, good landlords are fantastic, but are extremely rare it seems. We toured an apartment that the renter was still living in and the landlord did the same thing. We showed up. Landlord couldn't make it but said the renter could show us around. So freaking weird, and the renter thought so too. We were honestly glad because the renter gave us a real tour of the place. The broken AC unit crammed in the closet. Moldy shower. Neighbor who plays bass guitar late in the night. Insight that the landlord isn't big about fixing broken things. We chose a different apartment and still wound up with a neighbor who played bass guitar. BWA ha ha ha. That is amazing. You're doing the Lord's work. Film one of these showings. With the people's permission. Of course. Or blur them out. So that when you do finally move you can upload a video with explanation of you, showing of, the apartment you're still living in. Links to a OneDrive or something with the documentation showing that you have requested the repairs. Would easily keep it from being labeled as slander. You're legally obligated by the plain text of the leasing agreement to allow them access with 24 hours notice. He may be a bad landlord. But do people who rent really not know this? Be careful. This guy might be a big enough douche to hit you with a cause of action for tortious interference of a contract. My apartment actually double charged me once. This was a decade ago. I actually had a laundry list of problems with them. They refused to give me the money back, so I filed a dispute with the bank and got my money back. Have you considered museum cards for each item detailing when it was reported, action taken, etc.? May I show you our leaky faucet installation? We're particularly proud of this interactive piece, which has been with us for 3 years now. The artist's name and sale price are on the card. I had a landlord pull this once. She wouldn't even tell me when the person was coming by, because she knew if she told me I wouldn't be home. She gave out my phone number and told them that I had agreed to show it. Once I had someone show up on my doorstep at 8 p.m. when I was in my pajamas. She texted me, then kept knocking on the door until I answered. I showed her the place. Explained that the landlord did not have permission to give out my number. She said, "Well, I just want a chill landlord who stays out of my hair." I said, "This is not that. She enters the unit all the time without telling us. She reorganizes the refrigerator and pantry without asking us. She severely restricts our guests. We aren't allowed to sit on her furniture or bring our own furniture. And there are roaches." She still rented, even after all that. She texted me again about a month after she moved in. "OMG, I didn't think you were serious about the cockroaches." Quote. Most leases state once you give notice to move out, the landlord has the right to show the unit with you still living there, with 24 hours notice, of course. That being said, showing all potential tenants how shit the place is and how useless the landlord is something every renter should do.
Fascinating. In Sweden this is kinda the standard and everyone just agreed to it.
It's annoying, but don't you want to see an apartment before you sign a lease on it?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.